I did something that felt almost illegal. I tracked 25 billionaires, not with a drone or a hacker, but with public financial data. I followed their investments down to the last share. Not the flashy meme coins or hyped-up tech IPOs. I looked for something different. Dividend stocks. The boring stuff. Or so I thought. What I found blew my mind. Some of the world's richest people are quietly piling into 10 specific dividend-paying companies, and most people don't even realize it's happening. What's crazier? One of them just started paying a dividend for the first time in history. Stick around until the end, because the number one stock shocked me, and it might change how you think about building wealth. Here's how this all started. I was binge-watching interviews of Warren Buffett and noticed he mentioned Coca-Cola, a stock he's held since the 80s. He earns over $700 million a year just from the dividends. That's not luck, that's strategy. So I thought, what if I stopped guessing and just studied what the ultra-wealthy actually do? I pulled 90 days of filings, ranked every billionaire-owned dividend stock, and today I'm giving you the top 10 they're buying in 2025. Starting with number 10, Google or Alphabet. For the first time in its history, Google is paying a dividend. Yes, the company known for YouTube, Android, and search has finally started giving back cash to shareholders. They also approved a $70 billion buyback. Let me put that in perspective. That's bigger than the GDP of over 100 countries. Google's free cash flow last year was nearly $70 billion, with over $170 billion in liquid assets and very little debt. The current dividend yield is low, around 0.5%. But this is just the beginning. Super investors see Google becoming a long-term dividend growth machine. It's like getting into Microsoft's dividend phase 10 years early. At number 9, Starbucks. You know it for coffee, but billionaires know it for dividends. After some bad quarters, Starbucks stock dipped, and that's when the sharks moved in. Why? Because Starbucks has raised its dividend almost every year for the past 13 years, with a 9% growth rate over the last 5 years. Their payout went from just 0.45 in 2013 to 2.28 today. They've also brought in the former Chipotle CEO to clean house, and the market loved it. The stock popped 26% in 30 days. Billionaires aren't just buying coffee, they're buying a turnaround story with growing cash returns. Coming in at number 8, Salesforce. I never expected to see a software giant on a dividend list, but that's exactly why this one is interesting. Salesforce just announced its first dividend ever. It's only around 0.6% now, but this is a signal. Over the past decade, Salesforce grew its revenue per share from 5 to 31. Free cash flow per share rose from 1 to over 6. Their business model is now so efficient that they can reward shareholders without slowing down. For billionaires, this is a get-in-early moment on a company entering its dividend era. Number 7, Disney. This is a household name with a comeback arc. They suspended their dividend in 2020 due to COVID, but now it's back at 30 cents per share. That might seem tiny, but here's what matters. Disney has stabilized. Their free cash flow is rising again, their content library is unmatched, and with Bob Iger back as CEO, investors believe in the long game. Billionaires don't just buy brands, they buy stability, emotional connection, and 100-year franchises. That's what Disney represents. It's not just cartoons, it's cash flow wrapped in nostalgia. Next at number 6, Humana. It's not flashy, it's not hyped, but Humana might be one of the most quietly powerful dividend machines on this list. It has increased its dividend 12.3% per year for 10 straight years. The company has a gross profit margin of nearly 88%. That's outrageous, and they're only using a small part of that cash to pay dividends. Healthcare is sticky. People don't unsubscribe from insurance. And billionaires know this. When a stock goes down 30% but keeps growing its dividend and earnings, that's not a red flag. It's a discount. At number 5, CVS Health. A pharmacy chain may not sound exciting, but this is one of the highest yielding stocks on the list, with a nearly 5% dividend. Despite a rough year in the markets, CVS is still making billions and paying less than 30% of its earnings as dividends. That means they have plenty of room to keep increasing payouts. Billionaires love it for one reason. No matter what happens to the economy, people still buy medication. CVS is a defensive stock, a cash cow, and a steady payer, the trifecta of long-term investing. Now number 4, MSCI. Unless you work in finance, you've probably never heard of them, but they're everywhere. They provide the indices and analytics behind trillions of dollars in assets. Think ETFs, pension funds, global benchmarks. Over the last 10 years, their dividend has exploded, growing 43% annually. Yes, 43%. That kind of dividend growth is insane. Add in a strong buyback program and high margins, and you have a hidden gem. Billionaires like hidden gems. MSCI is the data backbone of modern investing, and it's paying them handsomely. Number 3, Apple. This company doesn't need an introduction. But here's what most people miss. Apple is quietly one of the biggest dividend and buyback monsters in the market. Its dividend yield is modest, under 1%, but that's just the appetizer. The real magic is in buybacks. In the last 10 years, Apple has reduced its share count by over 40%. And this year, they approved a record-shattering $110 billion in buybacks. That's $110 billion being handed back to shareholders without a press release or TikTok hype. Billionaires love Apple not just for iPhones, but for its efficient capital return engine. Coming in at number 2, Microsoft. Steady, boring, unstoppable Microsoft. It has raised its dividend by 10% a year for a decade straight. Their return on capital is above 20%, and their business model, from Azure to Office, is built to scale and print money. Billionaires love Microsoft because it's a fortress. It has growth, stability, and a dividend you can count on even when markets go wild. Think of it as the dividend trust fund for the ultra-rich. And finally, number 1. The most purchased dividend stock by billionaires for 2 quarters in a row, UnitedHealth Group. It may not trend on social media, but this company is a silent juggernaut. They've doubled their dividend in 5 years. Their payout ratio is still just 26%, meaning they could double it again and still have cash left. They operate in insurance, analytics, medical services, everything healthcare touches. Billionaires love UnitedHealth because it's boring, but powerful. When billionaires start loading up on a stock like this, it's not by accident. It's because they know this company compounds every quarter, every year. So what's the takeaway here? These 10 stocks aren't flashy. They don't dominate headlines, but they dominate portfolios. They generate cash, reward patience, and grow in silence. That's what the wealthy understand. You don't need a moonshot to build wealth. You need consistency. You need time, and you need cash flow. These 10 companies, backed by some of the smartest investors alive, are quietly doing that every single quarter. So the real question is, are you? There's more where this came from. Check the description for powerful money tips you can start using today. And let me know in the comments, which stock surprised you the most? If you liked this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.